From SummerSlam matches getting set up one after another to crazy breakups in the storylines, we're going to cover everything that happened on July 13th's Raw. So be sure to watch till the end, and I hope you guys enjoy. The person that kicked off this night's Raw was Brock Lesnar. Now, Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, as you probably know, have been having a feud lately ever since Clash in Italy and on May 31st when Brock Lesnar defeated Oba, and then the original fight at WrestleMania where Obafemi defeated Brock Lesnar. Now, this was a promo, and there was really no big fights, but Lesnar and Heyman were guarded by policemen, which was a little bit weird, and they were claimed to be the Dallas Police Department, but it wouldn't be right to bring in actual police. So, of course, they're fake police. Anyway, Obafemi still comes out after Paul Heyman rambles on about how Brock Lesnar's the best, and he's scared that Brock Lesnar is obsessed with Oba, stuff like that. But Obafemi comes out, of course, the crowd goes wild, and they basically just do more match hype. You know, Obafemi is like, "You can't run from me," kind of thing. Like, because Brock Lesnar, as soon as Obafemi came into the ring, Brock Lesnar took off. And he's like, "Police, do your thing." And the police got taken out. So I think that this was kind of a weird promo to set up, especially with the police. It made it weird. It made it seem like the Beast isn't so powerful anymore because he hides behind security. Next up was Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez, because you know we have to have at least one filler match in an average Raw episode. So I guess this was a setup match for Io Sky versus Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. So I guess Io Sky had to verse Liv Morgan's partner, which is Roxanne Perez, technically. Or she could have versed Raquel Rodriguez. Maybe that's next week. But Io Sky won this fight, proving that she is worthy of taking on Liv and maybe even winning, but we'll just have to see at SummerSlam. Next up was a promo from The Vision. Now, recently, The Vision acquired Maxxine Dupri. They took her away from Alpha Academy, but it makes sense that they did this because Alpha Academy isn't interesting anymore. They're not doing much, and I guess they want to keep Maxxine in the spotlight. So they put her with The Vision, and The Vision is definitely in the spotlight. They have the World Tag Team Championships. Anyway, after Tozawa and Otis came out and confronted them, Maxxine was basically like, "I still love you. I still care about you. I'm just trying to be with Austin Theory." And it ends up being that Austin Theory gives Otis a low blow, and Maxxine Dupri totally just turns on him, and she officially joins The Vision, I guess. Nah, it's official. Next up was Royce Keys versus Jimmy Uso. Now, the match itself was pretty lackluster, but it was what happened after the fact that made it so crazy and worth telling you. So Jacob Fatu arrived at the arena during the match. So the match actually did end in a disqualification. So he arrived at the arena, wasted little time marching to the ring, and he attacked his former friend, of course, Royce Keys, and he hit him with a steel chair, and it looked like Royce Keys, this was just going to be a beatdown for Royce Keys. But then Solo Sikoa appeared and ordered his cousin to stop, ordered Fatu to stop, and the Samoan Werewolf did. He was about to injure Royce Keys, it was looking like. Solo, he looked like he was about to rejoin the bloodline. He even raised the 1-up, which is something I haven't seen him do in years. And he raised the 1-ups. Jimmy and Jacob joined him. They were all raising their 1s, but then Solo's 1 quickly turned into the Samoan spike. So he spiked both Jimmy and Fatu, and turns out he is not going to join the bloodline. But this gets even more crazy because then LA Knight hits the ring, and he clears out Uso and Fatu, and Sikoa, Royce Keys, and the Megastar are all now in the ring, just for reference. And LA Knight's thinking that they could have them three versus Fatu, Jimmy, and Jay. And that match would be at SummerSlam. So it would be the Usos and Fatu versus him, Sikoa, and Keys, which I think is a very high-profile match. I think it is a very good match. But as for the winner, I think it has to go to Fatu and the Usos. Next up was Bayley calling out Lyra Valkyria. Now, this was just a promo where Bayley and Lyra Valkyria were hyping their match. That's at Saturday Night's Main Event this Saturday. This was just a short promo focused on the Lyra Valkyria Bayley match and trying to get the hype for this match, so it's not just a filler match. So, Bayley and Valkyria go back and forth, and then eventually it just turns into a fight, and Valkyria comes out standing. Next up was the number one contenders gauntlet match with Dominic Mysterio first, Joe Hendry, then Javon Evans, then Dragon Lee, then Rusev, then Chad Gable, then Ethan Page. So, and in that order, just to be certain. Okay, so it started out with Dominic Mysterio and Joe Hendry, and of course that's a fun match because it's a heel versus a funny guy that doesn't really belong anymore. But Mysterio did end up defeating Hendry, so Hendry was the first to go, which is sad because we all like Hendry. And then next up came Javon Evans, and then after a commercial break, we come back and we see Javon Evans beating up Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, and Evans eventually beats Dominic Mysterio. And then, next up, Javon Evans is confronted by Dragon Lee, which he also defeats. And then, Javon Evans meets his match, Rusev. Rusev comes out, and he is looking very tough and mean and ready to take down and already gassed Javon Evans because he has already taken on two opponents and defeated both of them. So kudos to Javon Evans because he probably worked the hardest in this match. He survived the most people, but the person that survived until the end was Chad Gable because Rusev came out and defeated Evans, but then Chad Gable came out as Rusev's next opponent, and Gable defeated Rusev. And then Gable had only one more person standing in his way, which was Ethan Page. And Ethan Page, I think you can guess what happened to him. Chad Gable defeated Ethan Page and came out on top. And now it is going to be Chad Gable versus Penta for the Intercontinental Championship. And the main event of tonight's Raw was the Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns contract signing. So this contract signing went like most contract signings go. They come out, they exchange a few roasts, and then they sign the contract. But it was really after the contract was signed where it got interesting. Because we had Roman Reigns just absolutely roasting Seth Rollins. And I'm not gonna lie, I was enjoying it so much. Roman Reigns was saying that Seth Rollins, he only won his championships from the Money in the Bank contract, and he couldn't actually beat anyone for the championship. And I'm not gonna lie, Roman Reigns was cooking. But Seth Rollins just came in with I already know that. I know everything. It was really weird. So I'm gonna say Roman out-roasted him. He won the roast battle. But in the end, it was a big fight, of course. That was bound to happen. This promo ended with Seth Rollins coming out on top. And that is very crucial because it is likely that he is to lose as he is versing Roman Reigns, and we got to keep a title on him so he feels like the leader of the bloodline, which is now being revived slowly but surely. Thank you for watching another episode of Wrestling Fanatics, and be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube and follow me on TikTok, and I will see you guys next time.